about eating for a healthy heart. And as you know, the number one killer, unfortunately, are strokes is number one. And number three, eating overall. We have to watch our diet. And we don't really watch our diet all the time, unfortunately. Because the majority of us really can't control in maintaining a healthy weight. And how do I maintain a healthy weight? Well, you can look on to see, Nutrilife and see how tall you are. And we also factor in the age. And you can tell exactly what your body type is and how much you should be weighing. So if you have a mass index of 25, it's good. If it's anything above 25, you are, I never say overweight, I say voluptuous. Right? Yes. So you also want to maintain, in addition to that healthy diet, is a cholesterol level, right? How much fat is in your blood. And usually when you go for your annual exam, they'll test your cholesterol, your lipids. And you want to maintain a healthy blood pressure, and now we have new guidelines under the JNC8, and they say that if you're less than 60, you should be 150/90, and if you're greater than 60, 140/90. That would be
even like 140. I was there this morning. They want 130/80.
Well, the guidelines have changed.
Well, they said the older you get, you really need to watch
adjust the blood pressure and adjust the guidelines also, because as we get older we are very strict on our blood pressure, but now we're sort of letting you squeeze by a little bit. We want to be able to have some physical activity, and sometimes people don't have any activity at all. And what activities do you, ladies and gentlemen, participate in? What do you do?
I do water aerobics every while.
How often?
Please, twice a week.
Okay, that's good. Twice a week.
I do something every day.
Okay.
I do some walking and activities.
Exercise 3 times a week at least, and 10,000 steps a
Steps.
day.
Oh, that's wonderful. 10,000 steps is equivalent to 5 miles. And you can get a little pedometer, at CVS, and you'll track your steps. The important thing is that you have to be moving, because as we get older, our joints are not as movable, and we become frozen, we get arthritis, and we have to have some type of activity. We don't want to be able to use our walkers, wheelchair, you want to be able to get moving. And the best exercise really is just walking. If you can walk 2 or 3 miles a day, that would be fantastic.
My problem is I can control my eating.
You're eating, okay. And if we...
Well, if you're walking, you can't be eating.
People have.
I know.
Have you seen people in Manhattan? They're eating their bagels and they're walking across the street.
Yes, I know. It's a habit. That's what I was like in the water.
And if you smoke, please stop smoking. Because smoking is an insult to your lungs. You're taking all that carbon and you're taking all those toxic chemicals. And the lungs have these fine little ciliated cells, like hair cells, and every time you're smoking, you're burning them down.
A neighbor of mine just found out she needs surgery because of her smoking. 8 weeks. 8 weeks of no smoking, otherwise they wouldn't.
That's gonna be-
They
it's
wouldn't
gonna
give
be
her anesthesia
so hard.
because they were afraid. I was surprised. I never heard that before.
Because they're looking at her respirations, they're looking at her exchange of oxygen and CO2. So that could be very dangerous. She could retain a lot of the anesthesia. She's going to be harder.
And secondhand smoking helps.
It's worse. Secondhand, so if your neighbor smokes, or gets into your apartment, you're also exposed to smoke. And you can call 311 and be good. Okay, so focus on what you can change now. Little changes are important. So what can we do? Adopt a better eating habit. Okay? We should try not to eat anything after 6 p.m. Oh, I'm sorry, you're silent there. Because, when you go to bed, and if you have a heavy meal, you're not going to be able to digest it as well, and it also packs in the calories because you're inactive. So if you're going to eat, it should be 6 meals a day, small little meals so you won't get hungry, and plenty of fluids. We advise you that if you're not on diuretics, and if if your blood pressure is normal and fine, you should be drinking at least 8 glasses of water a day. No soda. So it's dead.
Can I add to the 6 p.m.?
Yes.
What I learned was I took a neuroscience course, and the fasting is vitally important, not eating after 6 p.m. because there's a lot going on. As far as your digestion is concerned, your body puts so much energy to digest that it literally takes blood from the brain and other portions of the body to digest that food. So in other words, if you're eating and then going to bed, your body can't do anything else except digest. And nighttime is the perfect time for your body to heal. So when you have illnesses and you have things going on, then the body can really heal. The other thing that takes place during that 12-hour, should be a 12-hour fast, so 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 7 to 7, however it is that your brain needs 12 hours to clean.
For clearing.
So if you don't give it that time, it's not cleaning out the plaque and the things that are going on in your brain, and that could add to, not suggesting that it causes, but it could add to things like dementia and Alzheimer's. So that period of fasting does incredible things for your entire body. It's not just about, it is about the extra calories. And also, and I'd like to just end with this, I have a good dear friend, she's an older woman. She would always eat and go to bed. She wound up with cancer in the portion of her esophagus right near her stomach because that stomach acid was always churning up, and the doctor said for sure that added to her getting cancer. So it's just another reason to say after dinner, like I had dinner, I will not eat again until I get up in the morning. There's a host of benefits.
Excellent point. And in addition to that, years ago, I mean centuries ago, when man was first developing on Earth, he had periods where he wouldn't eat for several hours or several days, and they were much more alert so that they could survive and go hunting. So it really stems from the back. And the literature has said that it's true. We spend a lot of energy just digesting, breaking down the food when you're asleep, and it's not the same when you're active during the day. So if you can, if you're going to eat something, it should be something small. So you eat like a king in the morning, you eat like a queen for lunch, and you eat like a pork.
It's called intermittent fasting.
Right.
Google it, intermittent fasting. You'll get a ton of fantastic information.
Yes. Now consuming, sure.
Does that involve drinking water?
No, drink
Or
water.
water is great.
Water.
So it's just the eating part.
It's the eating
part.
I was also told that after 8 p.m., if you can avoid drinking more fluids, you should. Because of the fact
That you get up frequently.
during
Yeah,
the
stay
night,
up to pee.
your poor body gets disturbed every time.
Yes, and the sleep pattern is so
I know. I always drank 5 glasses of water every dinner. And the doctor says, Mom, your kidneys, they need a break. They need
You
to
can do it during the day.
I
During
just
the day,
love
more.
water. So that was my, so I tried to cut down.
On the water. Drink more during the day, less at night. And especially men also have prostate problems. You know, non-prostate hyperplasia, they should be drinking just this part. That's going to really ruin their sleep and they'll feel a little agitated.
I sleep with you.
So consuming the right amount of food, right, to lower your risk. So we try to instill in our patients about the Mediterranean diet. Are you familiar with that? Everyone here is?
Heard the term, but what is it?
Well, it's more salad, and you're eating a lot of seafood, sardines, salmon, because that has the omega. And the omega will help also with your heart. It's sort of like breaking up the plaques when you're eating this omega. And it also helps with your cholesterol. So we want to stay away from saturated fats. So we want to be able to eat healthy with fruits and vegetables, nuts, some cheeses that might be helpful for you. Calcium, which can be seen in the milk, but it's going to be low fat. Cottage cheese, and your servings of fruit. Again, it depends whether you're a diabetic, if you have high blood pressure, things might change a little bit in your diet. But the Mediterranean diet has been proven scientifically to be one of the best. And in the blue zone, where people live up to 100, 110 years old, in some areas, they have followed the diet that is Mediterranean, with lots of vegetables and sardines and fish, no red meat. Red meat can be done occasionally, but not all the time.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
About the
Yes.
red meat? You know, the unfortunate thing about our meat supply, as you well know,
Yes.
they're feeding cows corn.
Yeah.
Cows don't eat corn. You know, the big catchword now is grass-fed.
Yes.
Because a cow should be eating grass. And the problem, too, not only are they eating corn, but they're eating genetically modified corn because over 90% of the corn in this country is genetically modified, which means it's no longer a natural seed anymore, okay? Genetic modification, they're crossing DNA of species, even animal species, into plants. So, like Sandra said, which is true, limited meat, but if you could have a nice grass-fed, now you have to be so alert. You have to read every label. You really have to be looking so much. But the thing that's so great about the Mediterranean diet is it's the vegetables, right?
The vegetables.
And the fruits.
Yeah, fruits and vegetables.
Fruit,
You can't
vegetables,
go
and
wrong. It's
sunrise,
vegetation.
Vegetation. Try to go back to that if you can. Little changes, not big changes. So let's take a look at recommendations to reduce your risk in the future. You should be having 6 servings of fruit and vegetables. You should also be eating whole grain, high fiber bread, right? Because what happens with that? As we get older, things start to slow down and we become constipated. So we need more fiber, therefore we need more food. Oily fishes, like sardines, are wonderful to omega. Lean meat, if you're going to eat meat, it has to be very lean. Trim off the fat. Fatty-free skim, low-fat, 1% dairy. Reduce added sugars, how we love now. Thanksgiving is coming. We have that apple pie, pumpkin pie. 1 slice is enough. Little or no salt. Again, it depends if you have hypertension. If you're going to have salt, just the salt that's in the food. Don't add any more salt to your food. And alcohol in moderation. And I remember I had, when I was working at the bedside, I had this little lady who was 105 years old. And I said to her, "What's your secret?" She says, "Oh, I have a glass of sherry every night." So that was her secret. Of alcohol was okay. All right? And women are allowed to have 1 drink a week, a day. And men are allowed to have 2. Women 1 and men 2.
They said one is a stimulant.
Right.
Afterward, it almost starts
Take over.
Sandra, I wanted to
Yes.
ask this. We see some confusing information as far as like whole grains, and perhaps you could shed some light. Whole grains. So what does that mean? Whole grain. You could have whole grain slapped on bread, and it doesn't mean whole grain. Because honestly, anything from what I've learned, anything that's really a flour, that's not whole grain.
That's not
What
whole
are they
grain.
making bread out of? Flour. So when you get a bread and it says whole grain, you got to look for that. I mean, it may say wheat flour, but then if it has other, like millet or barley or whatever, like, the Ezekiel bread?
Yes.
The Ezekiel bread comes in an orange wrapper. That is whole grain bread. There's no flour in it. So that's a quality carbohydrate. Because the science is really shifting where sugar, as you said, sugar is a huge problem for our health. Because sugar causes inflammation. So and I beg to differ with what I don't know who they are, that says that you could have 14 drinks a week. That's what they say. But think about it. every drink you have is pure, it's pure sugar. So if you're having pure sugar, 14 glasses of whatever you're having of pure sugar, that's causing inflammation in your body. And inflammation causes the heart disease. I'd rather have a full-fat piece of hard cheese, quality cheese, okay, because that's not going to do you wrong, than all the, oh yeah, you can have 14 drinks. You might as well eat the whole pumpkin pie then.
Some people do both.
The science, March, the science is out there. Watch your sugar, whether it's in your ketchup or a hamburger
All the
bun,
information is
your
out there,
coffee.
Teresa.
Yes.
Some people are going to absorb it and some aren't.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we can try,
But you know, we're ruining our youth. Because have you seen the amount of obesity in young people?
Yes.
It's terrible.
It's the fast
It's
food.
true.
Fast food.
And I just want to say that we have the low diet sugar, and sometimes I heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that that's not even good for you. So
Oh, you mean like diet, like the
Yeah.
artificial
The diet soda?
sugar?
the artificial
Very
sugar.
bad.
I know that the brown sugar is
It's
a little
much
bit
better,
better
yeah.
than because it's not refined.
Or you could use honey,
Or
or
use
honey
honey.
syrup.
Honey is good.
And depending on the honey too,
Yeah,
because
uh-huh.
there's some honey that are not processed.
That's not bad.
Somebody told me that.
What's
That's
that?
good. True, yeah, we recommend
It's a
that.
packet. Okay, it's something about
As
it's
long
natural.
as it doesn't have saccharin in it, because that's artificial, and it's cancer causing.
Is the Truvia, is that the stevia?
That's
The
the stevia.
in
That's
it?
the stevia.
Yeah, okay. Just, you know, read the ingredients, because the stevia is okay, but read the Truvia label, they may be adding other stuff, but it's
Sure.
the stevia that is better than regular sugar.
So we recommend to reduce your risk to limit the amount of sugar, no more if it's absolutely necessary than half of your daily discretionary calories. So it's a little bit, it's a teaspoon. Limit the saturated fat to less than 7%, and that's the trans fat to less than 1% of daily calorie intake. Less than 300 milligrams of cholesterol, or less than 300 milligrams per day, and also limit the amount of sodium, and that would be just 1 teaspoon. But you know, as we get older, our taste buds change, and they move back. And sometimes we can't taste things the same, and we add a little bit more to bring back that savory taste that we used to have when we were younger. But we have to be very careful with that.
I think it has a lot to do with how you were raised and everything too, what you were used to. You know, maybe when your parents put salt in things and you grew up, then I think then you do add more to it all. But in many cases, I mean, there was no salt and shaker in my house. I mean, both my parents had heart conditions, so I don't need salt. Do you know what I mean?
But you actually do need some
So
salt.
I know, but there's enough in the food. before
Right,
I-
exactly.
You know, back in the day, they weren't, the food was, it was pure, it was cleaner.
And it
Now
was
they're eating
homegrown,
all
it
this
was
garbage
grown.
and
Now they're
sodium
trying to
this and
enhance the
sodium
taste.
that.
That's the whole thing, that when you ate a piece of meat from all three places, it was
It was a chicken burger
It was
wild in the
like, yeah,
farm.
that's right, it wasn't, they
It's
weren't
not-
herded in cages and,
Yeah.
so, you know,
it had natural taste.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to have so many
See,
additives.
what happened too is that the older folks, they used to eat whatever they produced. It was
Yes.
not going to
Homegrown, yeah.
It was not going to the refrigerator to stay there for a couple of weeks.
So we had to add
They-
preservatives.
Right. So the preservatives are making it even worse
yeah.
because those are, chemicals in there that preserve the food. But what is it doing to your body?
Yeah, because God didn't even make our bodies to metabolize all these chemicals that we're putting in. So you have to spend so much time at the grocery store, reading the labels. Sometimes I hold like a 3-hour tour. By the time you leave the house,
My
by the
husband
time,
does that. He'll spend like 2 hours reading every label.
yeah, it's really so important because it gets harder as you get older.
And to be honest with you, but this is between you and I, the medical system really wants to keep us sick.
That's true. Thank you for admitting
I
that.
have to say that.
Thank you for
Why you say that?
Oh, it's big industry.
It's
It's
about
a
money.
money-making
It's
industry.
Exactly.
I'm going to discharge you sicker than what you came in, because I know that if you come back in 60 days I'm going to recharge you as a new patient, and I'm going to make money with that. I
It's
don't
like
want
the same thing that happens with the drugs and the medications.
Yeah, you get a side effect
Yeah.
from one pill and they give
and
you
then I
a
give you
different.
another one for the
What
side
I
effect of
find
that pill.
disturbing is that you're watching the news, right? I'm not going to get into politics.
It's laughable.
But they come with these ads, right?
Yes.
Oh, this is going to get you better. This is going to make you
And the
this.
people look so
and
healthy
then,
and vital, right?
They're
then it comes all the side effects. It's like, oh my
Why are they giving
goodness.
us this information? I mean, don't we go to a doctor and have him prescribe? What am I
But let
going
me
to do
tell
and
you
say,
that
you know, I really want Lyrica.
What is
The
this?
pharmaceutical companies make billions of dollars,
Billions of dollars.
and they have incentives when they come to the office. Listen, I'm going to buy you lunch. I'm going to send you on a trip.
All the time I treat my hair.
Oh,
They come in with their tray.
Yes.
It's the salesman that goes straight to the back
yeah.
because they bring the samples, so now that
And
doctor
now I
hands
want you to
out
promote.
faxes.
Yes, that's it.
But you know what those ads creates is subliminal advertising.
Subliminal, yeah.
Advertising your
You almost think you need it.
Yes.
Oh, I have that condition. I must need that.
Yeah.
But you know what, Sandra?
Yes.
Thank you so much for admitting that.
I have
because
to-
a lot of people
They don't.
they don't, and it's really, really true because, you know, we as patients, we rely on the people, you know, professional people in the medical field to really guide us through health, and it's almost like it's disease maintenance.
Yes.
But you also know that we need to stick up for ourselves in these doctors.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, when you have a test done and then you wait for the results and they say we have to come in for the results, why do I have to come in?
Because
I can't call
I
me
can't-
over the phone because you can't put in for another appointment, you know, whatever you
Exactly.
call that.
They have to charge for
You
it.
know, and a couple of the doctors have said you're 100% right. All right.
No,
You know,
the other thing that I did is now I start to practice holistic medicine. So what I do is I do a whole analysis on the patient holistically. Because sometimes they might not need this medication. What if I did something else? What if they did guided imagery and meditation and they were able to live healthy and wholesome lives?
What
instead of
about
my-
even essential oils? I
Yes,
use
I
essential
do
oils.
aromatherapy, essential
Yes,
oils.
so
We
important.
should have a presentation
Yeah, I'd
because
love
they
to.
help you with sleep, they help you to calm down anxiety, they help with wound care.
So many benefits.
Yes.
Yep.
I have a gal in Philippines. She's been trying to get to me for
No, well, actually, yeah, essential oil. Which one do you use?
No
Essential.
shower.
Oh, I use the essential oils from Minnesota. Minnesota.
Well, I think we have to
It's
stick
called
up for
essential
ourselves.
oils.
In Minnesota?
Yeah. All the oils come from there. And from France, they also have
But the company name is called Essential Oils.
essential oils.
So if I Google that, it'll come
Yes,
up.
it'll come up.
Oh, that's interesting because I'm a wellness advocate for doTERRA.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Yes. So choosing, number one, if you can't cook at home, frozen, fresh or frozen canned vegetables, again, read the label. As far as a preservative with sodium, light sauce or syrup, sugar-free and low sodium variety. So make sure when you go to the supermarket that you're reading the labels. Whole grain products, which could include beans, fruit and vegetables to increase the fiber and get everything moving so that you're able to go to the bathroom in the morning. Liquid vegetable oils in place of solid fats. Remember how we used to use Crisco years ago? People did.
I guess so.
Lean cut meats and grill. I'm a very big fish eater, so grill, bake, or broil fish, meat and poultry, and choose whole vegetables.
Can I just
Vegetables in
support-
place of juices, yes.
Okay, a couple of things. You know when they say sugar-free, I've seen it on the cans of fruit. Sugar-free, read the ingredient list because lots of times sugar-free, that means they put an artificial sweetener in it.
Yes.
So you can't just go at face value at the front of the can. You actually have to go to
And
the
read it
ingredient
carefully,
list.
yes.
I wanted to ask you because there is science out there that suggests that vegetable oils, because they're high in omega-6 fatty acids, are really not the way to go anymore because we need more omega-3 fatty acids. Your coconut oil, you see coconut oil all over the shelves. That's a quality oil. Avocado oil.
Avocado is the best fat.
Olive olive oil, of
Yes.
course. But remember, the vegetable oils, corn is always genetically modified.
Yes.
Soy is genetically modified. All the vegetable oils are high in omega-6. So we've actually, and even canola is genetically modified. So in my home, we shifted to use the avocado, olive, coconut oil, and I even hear, which I haven't tried, macadamia nut oil is supposed to really burn well. It has a high heat threshold. I haven't tried that yet. But the other oils we switched to, and it was kind of hard because when you make a change, it's one change at a time.
Right, small changes.
Right, and then it builds, and so now we've cleaned out the vegetable oil in the home because of that whole omega-6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there really is there's new science suggesting that you need
I use little extra virgin olive oil, tiny bits. I don't use oil in anything.
when you saute vegetables.
Never.
Well, what do you saute your vegetables in?
Actually, I usually spray the pan with a little. I use Pam. That Pam probably kill me. And I keep moving them around. No.
Oh wait, I like to use olive oil.
I mean, a little bit.
Tonight
I made
I got that pan that's
sauteed
stick-free.
I would say I used a half a teaspoon of olive oil.
You know what? I have to admit, I eat a lot of fat. I eat very little sugar, and I eat avocado, olive oil. I eat nuts, seeds, hard cheese, none of the soft cheese.
Yes.
Okay? I can't put on weight when I'm eating. Your
Does
brain
Chris eat the
needs.
same thing as you?
He's lost weight. He's a big guy.
He is a big
But I
guy.
watch it. He's one of those people. Me, I like to do it all because I like it. I like health, just like you. I like healthy living. My husband, he listens for a long time and he's grateful, but he's harder to lead to the water. He's one of those tough horses, and that's okay because you're going to encounter people like that. But as we get older, he's listening to his wife a little more. So
So he's probably listening to his body.
yes. Because we're all predisposed to something. So this is what's happening.
So please watch out. Limit beverages and food high in added sugar. Cut back on pastries, however, and high calorie bakery products. Remove skin from the poultry before eating, though we love that skin on the chicken, right? And tips: reduce sodium by comparing sodium content of similar products and using a nutritional fact panel, which I'm going to show you. Choosing a variety of processed foods that are low sodium, again, read it carefully, and limit condiments.
Say you pick up a can of something. I really try to watch the sodium because of my husband. Okay, he's had like triple diabetes, but I make my own rule of. I don't really know what it is. Like I look for things. Canned foods have sodium.
Oh,
Right. So I try to go for like under 20%. Some of this stuff is 44% sodium.
yes, a
It's
lot.
like a salt shaker in there.
Mhm.
But what would be a guideline?
Well, I'm going to show you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's good. So limit your portion size, as you're eating a little bit every day. And many people confuse portion size with the size that they're going to eat. So food, for example, a cup or an ounce. A steak, this is how big, the size of your palm. One portion of that wonderful blueberry muffin is equal to
eating anyway.
is equal to 2 servings. That's a lot. Okay? So watch your portion: 1 cup of vegetables or fruit. I'll put it up there. 3 ounces portioned of meat, fish, or poultry. And if you have to have a little bagel, it's 1 single serving. It's half of what you're eating.
It's so different. And think about it. 1 cup of vegetables, we're supposed to be eating 7, because Sandra said, right? 6.
Yes, 6 to 7 servings.
Right, so you need 7 cups of vegetables a day. And if you're eating 7 cups of vegetables a day, you don't have a lot of room for all the junk anyway.
Yes. And watch your portion. See, 1 ounce of cheese, how much it would be, and 1 baked potato.
Those 3 slices American cheese?
Well, Mary, just to show.
You know what I find so helpful? You can get like a little weight scale.
Yes.
And you could really, I have a weight scale in my home, and so you could measure out your food so you can really see the portions. It makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Well, I have made see the difference in terms of changing the sodium on the cheese and the
Yes.
ham.
Good.
And right now, when you taste, like you order a sandwich, they give you whatever it is, the
Yeah.
cheapest one.
That's right.
And it's like salty. I find like you can't even stand it.
Cold cuts, that's why I've tried to eliminate those because I don't think they're.
Yeah, if they didn't add the fake sodium, using salt at your dinner table wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Let's take a look at this. This is here's a label, right? So a serving size 1 cup, 228 grams. Servings per container is 2. So let's check out the calories. 250 calories
Per
and-
serving.
Yes, per serving. And calories from fat, 110. Now the total fat, 12 grams. Saturated fat, and then the trans fat, there was none. Cholesterol was 30, but sodium, 470 milligrams of sodium. That's a lot, right?
What percent? I don't think that.
20.
Sean, can I just close that door, please? I don't want to chill.
Now, if we're looking at the carbohydrates, it's 31 grams, that's 10%. Dietary fiber, none. Sugar was 5 grams, no protein. Vitamin A, get enough of these nutrients. Of course, this was 4%, vitamin C was 2%, calcium 20, and iron was 4. Right? So you want, a quick guide would be that the sodium should be 5 or less. Should be very low, not the 20. Yeah, and of course, here the sugar was pretty high. 20 or more is very high when you're looking at labels. So read them carefully. Take your time, because now we have a law that they have to put everything on, so you could read it, and including in restaurants how many calories and what's in it. And in fast foods, they're doing that also.
And also, too, correct me if I'm wrong, but carbohydrates, that's 31 grams.
That's a
that
lot.
converts into sugar also.
Exactly.
So the sugar you're getting is really, the regular sugar, which was the 5 grams, plus the 31
that.
grams that's all pure sugar.
That's pure sugar.
So a high carbohydrate diet, like they fooled us in the 80s with
Yes.
that, right? With that stupid pyramid with all the luscious carbohydrates on the bottom.
And they said, eat.
And then everyone got really fat,
Yes.
including our kids,
Yes.
from eating all those
And they're
carbohydrates.
suffering now.
You know,
There's a high rate of diabetes among young children.
Well, you can get a 99-cent can of Arizona, and
Yeah.
it's,
soda and these sugary drinks that they're eating just makes them more hungry.
all of that stuff.
No, Gatorade's not bad. If you're out on the court, you're playing basketball,
Okay,
you have
okay, you're
diarrhea
right.
and vomiting on good, and if you pee light or Gatorade, one of the two. If I can't get you to the ER right away. But drinking it on a daily basis is not good. So if you have to use something so your food can taste good, I like to spice it up by using natural spices. And you can get this in your supermarket, right? The natural spices, or even in the Indian stores, right? The cumin and all that, and the parsley, the oregano, that, and also Dash. Dash is great. Yeah, this is Dash. Try a variety without adding the salt. That's what you have. And if you have to have salt, it should be just a teaspoon. That's all you need if you need to have it.
What, and please tell us too,
Yeah.
the turmeric is a
Turmeric, yes,
fantastic
right there.
anti-inflammatory.
Yes.
So it really, people in India, they don't have Alzheimer's. They eat a lot of the stuff. Okay? Then rosemary is also great for memory. Oregano
Oregano's
has
fabulous.
incredible antioxidants, antibacterial properties. So all these spices and herbs that God put on the earth, yeah, it adds to the flavor of our foods, but it's doing these incredible things
To your body.
for our bodies, right?
Yes.
I have 3 plants of oregano in my living room. My wife
It
just
is.
does it.
It's fantastic for you.
And she just uses it for cooking.
Yes, it's wonderful, wonderful.
So some
And
sticks.
the cilantro too in the summer.
Cilantro,
she
wonderful.
does it.
Thing on her
Stand cilantro.
oh, it tastes like a bar of soap to me.
I mean, I can't even, if you know, if I'm somewhere and it's in the salad or something, for 2 days, I can't. So, I don't know, sorry.
Saying that you love it or you hate it.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I mean, I eat pasta and eat all the other things,
Yes,
you know, I
except-
like dandelions and salad, I like.
But cilantro?
Cilantro is so aromatic.
It is, yeah.
Enjoy it. It's good.
So some tips for success: make eating an activity in itself. Because what happens? We really going to eat something. We have to be present in the moment. When we see people, they're eating, they're on the phone, or they're texting and they're eating, and we really should be present when we're doing something. Right? Because then you'll realize you take a bite of food, how it feels in your mouth, or tasting it, you're chewing it, and you should be chewing your food 30 times, right? Every time. And people don't. People just gulp down their food. Be a list maker, which means when you go to the supermarket, never go to the supermarket hungry. Make a list at home about what you're going to buy. Take your time and read, of course, everything that's out there. Focus on what you can do. What's the positive? What can I do? I can maybe walk 2 times a week. I can do my aerobics in the water 2 times a week. That's great. Maybe I can increase it to 3 if I have the time. I'm going to walk around here. That'll be an activity you can do. Stay positive. That's important. So when you get up in the morning, be grateful for what God has done. That you can sit up and open your eyes. Can you imagine? I have patients that they can't even open their eyes. And they can't even speak. And imagine, to me, these little things I take for granted. So that I'm able to sit up and put my feet on the floor when people can't do that. Or I'm able to go to the bathroom by myself.
You know, it's so true. In the neuroscience course I took, it's Dr. Daniel Amen. And he says he wakes up every day and says, today's going to be a great day.
Yes.
Because
That's going to set your
he
day.
says, when you tell your brain what to do, today's going to be a great day. He says the cells that wire together fire together. So if you wake up and you say, and you're, that you will actually create that scenario in your head. And it will be a bad day. When you focus on being positive, it actually wires your brain to accomplish that.
Exactly.
It's amazing. The brain is so amazing.
Well, the brain, we still don't know that much about the brain, but it's the most powerful organ.
Dr. Daniel Amen actually, it's called SPECT scans, where he actually takes images of the brain. So you could see, it's based on like heat. So you could see the overactive areas and the underactive, and he's able to treat a lot of people. He's been doing it for 25 years. Check him out, Dr. Daniel Amen. He has a clinic in the city. And I took one of his courses, and it was unbelievable. He's the only doctor, I don't know if he's the only doctor in the nation, but he's the top doctor that does this SPECT scan. He treats NFL players, he treats a lot of people with depression, a lot of people with emotional, mental situations, because with the SPECT scans, you can actually see what's going on in the brain. So that science is shifting, and it's very exciting.
And just let me add to that, Alzheimer's is not a disease of the elderly, it's a disease of the young. And they were actually looking, they were doing these steps on the young people, they were able to predict who would get Alzheimer's in about 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
So again, it depends how we eat, how we
And all the
take care of
sugar they're
ourselves.
consuming, it's going to happen swiftly with them.
Mhm.
It's going to happen swiftly.
So take baby steps every day. See what you can change in your life. That's important. Until eventually you make that big change. Okay? Losing weight and maintaining weight. Talk to your healthcare provider. Hopefully you have a nurse practitioner somewhere in your life, or your MD, right, for assistance, and make a plan. Be informed about what your body mass index should be. And they
I
have a whole
actually have an app
formula.
on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
You can get an app on your phone that tells you your body mass index.
Yes.
It's very easy.
Maybe we
to
could do
find.
it here. dinner.
Yes.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To achieve steady weight loss, eat 200 or 300 calories less a day, and you're going to lose the weight without even knowing because you're cutting back. And 60 minutes of physical activity most days is recommended so that people can maintain their weight. And walking is the best exercise. I try to do that 4 times a week.
Each pound is 3,500 calories, right?
Yes.
So if you break that up over a week, you can lose a pound a week if you're pushing away at the table, you're not taking seconds,
You're watching your portion control.
right?
You're drinking. I try to drink 2 glasses of cold water before I sit down to eat, so that fills you up. So weight control is really it's a lifetime project. It's a big thing, and you don't want to do these fast diets like they always have Nutrisystem and Jenny Craig. They're not healthy. You want to do it naturally, and the long term is, of course, to choose a lifestyle that you're happy with, you're comfortable with your weight, and that you're healthy. You don't have to be absolutely thin. You can reduce calories. All right? So the result will be, please, the most important meal of the day is breakfast, right? Because you've been fasting all through the night, and you need some glucose in your brain. So make sure if you're going to skip a meal, don't skip breakfast. You could skip lunch, you could skip dinner, but not breakfast. And get information on diet goals like how to lose weight and just cut down on your calories. Heart smart shopping. So read the labels. Healthy cooking, dining out, or our nutrition center www.heart.org/nutrition from the American Heart Association. Okay, questions? And this is the references that we have shown. You can put them. Thank you so much.